In a world obsessed with control, where success is often measured by how much power we can exert over our environment, our careers, even other people, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness lies just beyond our next conquest. If only the traffic would move faster, if only our boss saw things our way, if only the market responded to our efforts, then we could be at peace. But Stoic philosophy, one of the oldest and most enduring schools of thought, offers a radically different perspective, one that challenges this pursuit and replaces it with something far more profound: the control of our own response. At the heart of this philosophy lies a deceptively simple yet transformative idea known as the dichotomy of control. Introduced most famously by Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, this principle teaches that there are two categories of things in life: those we can control and those we cannot. Some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions. Epictetus, Enchiridion. Let's explore this more deeply, not as a distant philosophical abstraction, but as a living guide for navigating the chaos of modern life. The illusion of external control. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded by events and circumstances outside of our control. The weather might change, the train may be delayed, a colleague might act rudely, a loved one could disappoint us. The world doesn't bend to our preferences, and never will. Still, many of us try to control these externals. We manipulate schedules, micromanage outcomes, attempt to fix other people, and even obsess over the impressions others have of us. When things don't go as planned, we get frustrated, angry, or anxious. Why? Because we've anchored our peace of mind to something we never had dominion over in the first place. This is where the Stoic insight becomes revolutionary. The Stoics don't ask you to give up on ambition or surrender to fate like a passive observer. Rather, they urge you to shift your focus, to stop grasping for control where there is none, and to start mastering the one realm where control is absolute: your own mind, choices, and responses. The power of response. Think of life as a vast ocean. You can't control the waves, the tides, or the weather. You cannot predict a sudden storm, but you can control how you sail. You can adjust your sails, strengthen your knots, and choose how you navigate the storm. This is the essence of the Stoic dichotomy: not resisting the storm, but mastering your art of sailing through it. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and someone cuts you off. You cannot control that driver. You cannot go back in time and prevent the situation. But what you can control is how you react. Will you stew in anger, yelling and blaming? Or will you breathe, let it go, and refocus on your music, your thoughts, or the conversation you were having? It sounds simple, but this is where true discipline lies, not in controlling others, but in controlling your reaction to others. This internal mastery is where the Stoics find true power and freedom. Freedom through acceptance. Some critics of Stoicism argue that this philosophy promotes resignation, that accepting what you cannot control is a form of giving up. But that is a misunderstanding. What the Stoics offer is not resignation, but liberation. By recognizing what lies outside your control, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of trying to control the uncontrollable. You release yourself from the tyranny of outcomes, from the poison of envy, from the exhaustion of chasing perfection in an imperfect world. This mindset is not passive, it is powerfully active. It demands constant attention to your own thoughts, your own judgments, and your own behavior. It's far easier to complain than to reflect, easier to blame others than to examine yourself. The Stoic path requires courage, the courage to take radical responsibility for your inner world. What lies in your control? Let's be specific. According to the Stoics, the things within your control include your opinions, what judgments you form about events, people, and situations, your intentions, why you act and what you aim to achieve, your desires and aversions, what you seek and what you avoid, your actions, what you choose to do or not do, regardless of the outcome, your attitude, the mindset you bring to every circumstance, good or bad. When you begin to focus your energy here on your reasoned choices and moral character, you begin to experience a peace that the world can't touch. It's not that bad things stop happening. It's that they no longer have the power to unmake you. Applying Stoic control in everyday life. Let's ground this philosophy in some common life situations. 1. Criticism at work. Your boss gives you harsh feedback. You can't control her tone or opinions, but you can choose your reaction. Will you take it personally and shut down? Or will you ask yourself honestly, is there something true in this I can use to grow? 2. Unexpected setbacks. You trained for months and still didn't get the promotion. The market crashed, a relationship ended. These things hurt, but they are outside your control. You can, however, control how you respond. Will you wallow in bitterness? Or will you reflect, regroup, and move forward with strength? 3. Daily inconveniences. The rain ruins your plans. The coffee spills. The train is late. These are perfect training grounds for Stoic control. Each small annoyance is a chance to practice patience, gratitude, and flexibility. Controlling your morning, controlling your life. One of the most powerful ways to apply the Stoic principle of response control is by building a morning practice rooted in reflection and intention. Instead of reacting to the day, you begin by grounding yourself in what is yours to command. You might journal, meditate, or simply ask, what can I control today? What kind of person do I want to be, no matter what happens? When you begin your day this way, you're less likely to be thrown off by external disturbances. You remain centered, like a calm eye in the storm of life. The result: emotional resilience. When you internalize the Stoic dichotomy, something begins to shift. You start to detach from outcomes and redirect your energy inward. You grow more composed in the face of difficulty, more consistent in your actions, and more peaceful in your spirit.